What's going on, guys? Jurassic here. Today we're playing Breach Wonders. This is a game that connects Steam and mobile users together, and is a game similar to Magic the Gathering. Welcome to Breach Wonders. This is a short tutorial to show you the basics of map navigation. Your goal is to reach and defeat the Aether Guardian all the way to the top of the map. Try scrolling up and down to see available paths. You can click and drag the map. So basically, you can sort of pick and choose which direction you want to go. Remember to rest if your health is getting low. So you have one rest in each campaign. That's going to be a little campfire thing in the top left corner. I'll come and wait until the very end to do that. So basically, you get one of three paths. You can pick and choose, but all of them sort of connect together anyway. So it's not like it's too big of a deal. But this is going to determine who you actually go up against. And there is going to be different tiles. Welcome to your first combat. We will now take you through the basics of the combat system. So there is a blue mana system in the bottom left. This is where you'll see your current character health, shields, and status effects. When you receive status effect, you can click on your character to read more. This is your mana. You need most of your cards. There is no need to spend all your mana in one turn. Your excess mana remains between rounds. This is your hand. You can play these cards when it's your turn. You can draw from your deck on the left, play cards to discard pile on the right. When your deck is empty, your card pile will be shuffled back into your deck. Drag a card to the battlefield to play it. Click and hold your card in your hand and a detailed pop-up about it will appear. Good luck. So as long as it has a green border around the cards, you're actually able to play them. So if we wanted to, we could play all the cards right now. There's going to be a couple freeze cards. There's going to be a couple damage cards. So that one does 10 damage and basically is just slowly working away. The other one freezes it, and then there are going to be cards that add shields and cards that add mana that we can utilize whenever we want. So Pierce is pretty good to do a little bit of damage, so we're going to try to split it evenly between these two opponents. Gain 2 mana, apply 2 frost to all enemies. So that's going to get a little bit of mana back to us and kind of freeze a little bit. Pierce is going to do 8 damage to enemies, dealing additional 8 damage if frozen. It's got a little bit of froze on it, but it's not fully frozen. So we do have a little bit more mana. We can slowly freeze them a little bit if we want to. And we have another mana shield if we wanted to boost it, but we'll just leave that alone for now. Now it's our turn again. So we get random cards. Sometimes you're going to have a lot of offensive cards. Sometimes you're going to have a lot of defensive cards. While you progress through this game, you're actually able to build your own deck. It's just going to take a while. So deal 12 damage to anyone and inflict frost. So that's going to be super useful if you have a certain amount of cards that you do extra damage to, things that are frozen. However, as soon as you end your turn, all of your cards on your hand automatically go down and you get a brand new set. So these guys in the beginning don't seem to be too aggressive. However, we are eventually going to be fighting a couple elites and they're going to be a little bit more aggressive. So we should be able to take this guy out. And one more turn, then we won't have to worry about it. So we're probably going to freeze the dude in the front, since the dude in the back's basically dead anyways. Get a little bit of extra mana, that way we aren't too bad in the next round. Wait our turn, get +4 mana back, so now we got to 8. We're able to use whatever we want. So Magic Blast is going to be pretty strong. It's going to do 10 damage to either one. May as well do it in the one in the front since it has slightly more health. And it looks like we have a bunch of stuff to boost up our character itself, so we can't actually attack this dude right now. So we're just going to end our turn, take a little bit of damage. Now basically we can play whatever we want since this dude's so low. And victory is once again ours. Nice! So at the end of the round, we get to choose a card. It's going to be a random card drawn. We're probably going to be picking the monster card. Sort of skipping through this a little bit quickly since it is just a tutorial. Basically, the monster card applied 10 arcane to enemy, gain 10 shield if this triggered our arcane detonation. So that's the card that we just got. Now we're going to be using some of our typical freeze cards that we had from before. This game is actually not too hard, but at the same time it is pretty fun. It's pretty fast learning curve on it. So basically it's going to fill up that purple bar that is going to explode a little bit. Now our health is crippled to 74 since we took damage. If we rest, we can get it back above 74. However, 74 is going to be our maximum health since we've taken so much damage in this playthrough. Leeching Seeds is good, that way we can just sort of slowly chunk away that guy's health. Same with Toxic Spores. We did skip a little bit inside of this tutorial campaign since there were so many battles. This is going to be on the elite. And the next fight we're going to be doing is the boss fight, just so you guys can see the different effects of them having more health. We got 1 mana. We basically used up our turn, so we're just going to end that. Back to our hand. Now, thankfully, our deck has a lot of cards that are going to boost up our mana. So as you guys can see, since it doesn't have the green outline, we can't play it yet, but we can boost up our mana, and now we're able to use Pierce again. And some cards that boost up your mana do better once you're completely out. So unfortunately, this card requires 6, we had 3, so we just can't play that. So we're going to end our turn, and he dies from the toxin anyways. So we got another victory. So this one's going to be a little bit different. This one gives you an option of choosing a card, equipping a new thing, and removing a card. So Arcane Cloak, additional arcane applied by cards +3. So you know what, we're going to go ahead and equip this item, why not? Get a little bit of XP. Monster card, Conductive Bolt, deal 14 damage to enemies, guaranteed critical hit on enemies with shields. That's pretty cool. We'll probably deal with Conductive Bolt, and we need to pick a card to remove if we choose to. Basically, this is where you can start getting rid of your defensive cards if you want to do like a mostly offensive list. So, I mean, we do have quite a bit of duplicate cards, so we'll probably search through the deck and find some that look kind of boring, like this block 10 shield thing. Seems like we always have a decent amount of shields since a lot of our cards give us mana and shield, so we're just going to get rid of the block. So to play this off first, we're probably going to Magic Blast and try to do as much damage as we can in this first round. We don't have enough to do Arcane Aegis, but now we do since we used up our magic and we got 1 point left, so we may as well end our turn. Now, if you guys noticed, our shield was 22 out of 10. At the end of the round, if it's above 10, it automatically goes back down. So we can do Conductive Blast if we want to. However, Leeching Seed seems to be a little bit more effective since it lasts for multiple rounds. So we're going to do that first. Get a little bit of extra buffs on our character, and then end our round. Hopefully next time we'll get the Conductive Bolt, since that is going to be a little bit more of our stronger offensive attack. Alright, so we got Focus, that's going to boost up 2 mana, so that'll give us a little bit of stuff at least. Gain 2 more mana if we have no power. So basically, the plan would be to try to use Focus at the very end. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to be able to get rid of all of our mana, so we're just going to play all these cards and end up with 6 mana at the end, which isn't too bad. 12 out of 10 shield automatically drops down to 10 and it evens itself back out. So we are going to use Arcane Aegis. This basically adds like a little bit of an explosion effect and a slight debuff on him. Focus to gain a little bit more mana, and a mana shield to boost it up just a little bit more, and then Ice Blast to finish it off. Enemy's turn again. Alright, so we got Toxic Spores. We'll do that to sort of give him a negative area. Now, Chilling Focus is going to give us a little bit extra energy, so we may as well place all 3 of our energy cards down, and then we'll finish it off with Pierce. So that's going to be as much as we can, so we end this round with 1 out of 13 mana, which, I mean, it's decent. Alright, so now it's back to our turn, so we got Leeching Seeds again. I'm definitely going to be making sure we have that card on him at the end, so hopefully we can use the Mana Shield and get us a little bit more, put the Leeching Seeds on, and we'll worry about Pierce and Chill later on. See how he's taking so much damage to the end of the turn? It just seems so much better to have these effects that last whenever your turn's not going on. So Leeching Seeds does stack, so if you guys notice right now it is at 1, now it's back up to 3. We can do a little bit extra mana. Now we can choose Arcane Aegis, which is going to do a little bit of explosion, so might as well do that because I think that does more damage than the rest. Now notice it's at 13 out of 14, so if it had reached the 14, it would have done an explosion. But he hasn't actually been able to do that since he had a little bit of resistance to it. So we're going to do Toxic Spores. We'll have that at 7. Focus and Mana Shield, that's going to boost up our energy just a little bit. So we do have 2 offensive powers. So that's going to take us down to 0. Focus will now get us 4. Unfortunately, we can't do Ice Blast since we still don't have enough power. So we'll end that turn, wait for him to do his thing. And now he's only got 14 health, it doesn't really matter what we play. So we can do Magic Blast, or we could do Pierce to end it off. Alright, so let's start with Pierce. Magic Blast. Boom! Victory is ours. Alright guys, well that's going to be it for today. If you guys enjoyed, make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Let me know if you guys want to see more of this game. It's actually pretty fun to play. And it is on beta on iOS, Android, and Steam if you guys want to try it out yourselves as a free-to-play game. Without any crazy microtransactions in the store, by the way. I didn't see anything like that inside of the game.